Lane. I'm Larry Marble. Sit with me at Granny Marble's kitchen table. We'll talk about the things that are affecting agriculture within this region. It's the 1245 edition of Down on the Farm on this, one of our 14 affiliate stations. Taking a look at ag weather, slightly cooler and sunny today. 10 to 15 mile an hour winds out of the northwest. 53 in Abilene, 55 in San Angelo, 53 in Ozona, 54 in Sonora, 56 in Junction, 55 in Mason. Plum cold tonight, 29 in Abilene, 27 in San Angelo, 24 in Ozona, 25 in Sonora, 24 in Junction, 28 in Mason. And much colder late next week. Looks like that air mass is going to come down and play havoc with us. Highs on Thursday, only in the 30s and the 40s. Our lows will start out with a 16 in Abilene, a 21 in San Angelo, 20 in Ozona, 21 in Sonora, 21 in Junction, and a 23 in Mason. Neighbor, it's time for that first glass of iced tea in your commodities. March corn, 633 3/4, up 8 1/4. Soybean meal, the March contract, 410.80 by the ton, up 610 by the ton. March Kansas City hard red winter wheat, 802 3/4, down 9 1/4. March number 2 cotton, down 34, 121.29. April live cattle, 142.15, up 52.50. March feeder cattle, 159.62, up 12 1/2. April lean hogs, up 145 at 96.10. And finally, your West Texas Intermediate crude, 88.27, up 167. There are your commodities. Neighbor, now it's time for today's edition of Focus on Ag with the Farm Bureau's Tom Nicoletti. Tom, what's our topic?
Maximizing effectiveness of cattle dewormers. I'm Tom Nicoletti with Focus on Agriculture on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. There are 4 key protocols that Texas cattle producers can implement to maximize the effectiveness and value of dewormers. More from Dr. John Davidson with Beringer Ingelheim Animal Health.
In our cattle business, we have launched an educational effort to help the industry, which is the 4 pillars. The first pillar is understanding the parasites that are in that cattle population right now, and that's through doing standardized diagnostic tests that can be done at the veterinary clinic, that can be done at the state diagnostic laboratory or veterinary college. Understanding what the burdens are, what species of parasites are present is step 1 or pillar 1. Pillar 2 is recognizing that we have multiple classes of products that are available. We have oral products, we have injectable and pour-on products. We know that when we combine those products with different classes of action, we kill the very highest levels of worms that are in those animals, and we reach levels that we cannot do independently with those products. Pillar 3 is just good old-fashioned pasture management. We know that peak parasite transmission occurs as we overstock, overgraze, and graze closer to the ground. So by maintaining good common sense approach to pasture management, forage height, and stocking rates, we're going to reduce the reinfectivity that's occurring in the grazing system. And the last pillar really is one that when we see the potential for resistance showing up in an operation, we want to set aside a subset of the cattle population that has not been exposed to the drugs. At the end of the day, we have to recognize that new products are just not coming out very often, and we've got to do everything in our power to ensure the products that we have available to us today are going to continue to work in the future.
That is Dr. John Davidson with Beringer Ingelheim Animal Health. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to find an insurance agent who's a true neighbor. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Neighbor, when you hear cattle in the alleyway, it's time to head up to Lockhart to see how that little country ball of fire, Madison Bexley and crew, sold cattle on Thursday. Maddie, I understand from buyers that they were really pleased, and the sellers also. How did it go?
We had a pretty good day. We ended up with 1396 with 304 cows and 53 bulls and 38 horses and mules, 203 sellers and 89 buyers.
Let's walk the pens.
The stalker cows this week, the market was real active. The front end of the pairs were brought from $12.50 to $16.75. The mediocre and middle-aged from $1,000 to $11.75. The good bred cows from $9 to $12.75. The mediocre, middle-aged, and short-bred cows from $5.50 to to $8.75. The Longhorn and the plainer cows from $2.50 to $5.25. Packer cows and bulls this week would have been several dollars better. The good high yielding cows from $70 to $85. The medium yielding from $60 to $69. The low yielding and lightweight cows from $40 to $59. The bottom end of them from $25 to $39. The good high yielding Packer bulls from $98 to $1.08. The medium yielding from $90 to $97. The low yielding and lightweight bulls from $70 to $89. And the calves and yearlings, they took a pretty good selling on most classes. They'd have been steady to 5 or higher on a reactive market. And the quality and condition on the cattle this week was really good. You know, that always makes our job easier.
Do you know of anything for next week, Maddie?
As long as the weather cooperates next week, we have 2 decent size sets coming off one place. But other than that, hopefully we can get some more business drummed up.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can always check us out on Facebook, or you can call the barn at 512-398-3476. My cell phone at 979-540-9793. Or you can ring Bubba at 512-461-6091.
Talk to you next week, Maddie. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to get insurance for Texans by Texans. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Neighbor, there's Hop Sing ready to serve chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, Nanny's East rolls, a cold cucumber salad. I've got a glass of iced tea or a cup of coffee for you. And I've got a plate set at the table for my friend Russell Heller from Lexington Livestock. Russell, you're going to sell tomorrow. What's that sale looking like today?
Yes, sir. I know about 3 sets of calves, anywhere from 15 to 30 head apiece so far.
Good deal. What do you think the total that you'll draw will be?
It's hard to say right now. Probably 700 or 800 total heads.
What's the weather like?
It's okay. It's cool this morning. 36 degrees, but it's going to warm up. Should be nice today.
Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you for Saturday's sale in Lexington.
Yes, sir. You can get me on my cell, and that number is 979-820-7002.
We'll talk to you bright and early Monday morning. Thank you, Russell Heller.
Thank you, Larry.
Neighbor, if it walks, swims, or flies, they can feed it. And they've been doing so for over 40 years now. Neighbor, I'm Larry Marble for the good people at Full of Pep Feeds, Cuero, in San Antonio. Find a dealer at fullofpep.com. I enjoy speaking for Full of Pep. The anniversary coincides with their purchase of the mill in Cuero in 1982. Many of you heard me speak for the first time on their behalf on the radio when I worked for them in 1986. And in the last 40 years, they've developed fine products like the 6040 Cube, Super Beef Developer, and my favorite, Muy Grande Nutrition. 40 years and growing strong. Full of Pep Feed Mills in San Antonio and Cuero. Retail stores on Rigsby Avenue in San Antonio and on Esplanade in Cuero. Dealers at fullofpep.com. 40 years and growing strong. Congratulations, Full of Pep. fullofpep.com. We're on the line with Leroy Krueger. Leroy, how's the bull business?
Oh, it's not too bad, Larry. We've been plugging away on him here, kind of had tested some older bulls that I had out and got them cleaned up and moved them. And, and we got a really nice set of Angus bulls on hand here and a few Charolais and I think getting pretty short on Herefords. Got some red Angus bulls and black Semi or two. We're probably going to Hereford sale here in about a week or two.
Okay.
See if we can pick up some pole Herefords and some horn bulls and make a little round.
Good deal. So you'll have another bunch of bulls in the barn for people to look at. Tell everybody how to contact you, Leroy Krueger.
They can catch me on the mobile at 830-570-0660.
We appreciate you. We'll let you get back to feeding.
Yes, sir. Talk to you later. Thank you.
Neighbor, let's take a look at the grains courtesy of John Tuggle & Company. Corpus Milo through Corpus in January. March plus 85, $12.68. Houston 13.31. Progresso 12.10. Yellow corn to Corpus in January. March plus $1, $7.25 and a quarter. Houston 7.50 and a quarter. Progresso 13.50. Hard red winter wheat to Houston in January. March plus 70, $8.63 and a half. Houston beans January delivery. March less 10, $14.38 and a quarter. Texas cotton, 7,669 bale of East Texas, Oklahoma, 24,442 bale of West Texas, 31,111 total. Prices went from $115.13 to $116.88, with the average at $116. Even money against the March cotton contract, which closed at $121.63. down 70. Neighbor, that's it for the best darn farm show in 100,000 square miles of the great state of Texas. No brag, just fact. I'm Larry Marble. You're my neighbor. Neighbor, good day, good weekend.